Welcome to the pre-production training for the Migrated Appropriation Accounting System. During this training, we will discuss a brief history of the Appropriation Accounting System, what Appropriation Accounting does for ODOT, the Appropriation Accounting Migration Project, and the future of Appropriation Accounting. What is Appropriation Accounting? ODOT has many users of the Appropriation Accounting System who use just a fraction of the system's full functionality, maybe as a payment card holder, a payment card or requisition approver, or maybe because they need to view and manage a cost center's budget. But what else does the Appropriation Accounting System do, and why is the system so important for ODOT? Appropriation Accounting is ODOT's core financial system. It is a menu-based system with 17 subsystems or smaller systems embedded within the main system. These are, first, the MTR system, used by the Federal and Capital Accounting Team to directly enter encumbrances, change requests, and vouchers, and used by the Fiscal Reporting Team to correct vouchers and process warrants. Second, the Revenue system, used for tracking and managing revenues. Next is the Edit Table system, used to manage ODOT's core business information to ensure proper recording, entry of data, and its relationship with other important information such as defining valid divisions, cost centers, activity codes, budget SACs, and more. Fourth, the Budget Transfer System, for managing all layers of ODOT's budget. Fifth is the Automated Purchasing System, or APS. This is used to generate and manage operating requisitions, purchase orders, and modifications. Sixth is the Vendor System, used to manage vendor IDs and related information. Seventh is the Voucher Entry System. This is used to manage invoices, payments, and accounts payable accounts. Eighth, the Capital Project System. This is used for the tracking and management of capital project contracts and associated encumbrances and spend. Ninth, Term Contracts is used to manage state and ODOT supplier contracts. 10th, the Agreement Limits System. This is used to set up and manage agreements and define spending thresholds. 11th is the KIP system, or Construction in Progress. This is used to manage and track facilities construction projects and associated spend. 12th, the Reject Correction System, used to manage transactions that were rejected prior to an attempted transfer to Oaks due to failed data validations. 13th, the System Inquiry Screen, which is used for inquiring system data for management and review. 14th, the Payment Card and EDI, or Electronic Data Interchange System, which is used to record and process payment card and EDI invoices and payments. 15th is the Human Resources Earning Code System. This system is no longer used by Appropriation Accounting as it has migrated to the Personnel Office. 16th is the Security System, which is used to manage system users and their access within the Appropriation Accounting System. 17th is the SIB system, or State Infrastructure Bank. This is used to set up and manage loans to authorized entities. So what is the plan for Appropriation Accounting? Appropriation Accounting was developed in-house by ODOT approximately 30 years ago. A lot has changed since the initial launch of AA. The system's longevity and success is impressive considering the system was in service years before most of us had cell phones or flat-screen televisions. Appropriation Accounting was built on the mainframe using Mantis and COBOL programming languages, which were relevant technologies at the time. Today, Appropriation Accounting still uses these same outdated technologies, which is one of the main reasons that it is time for an update. The initial phase of the project is to migrate the existing system from the mainframe into a web-based system and a modernized database. The system will look and function almost exactly as it does currently. The targeted go-live is July 2nd of 2021 at the start of fiscal year 2022. So why does Appropriation Accounting need to be changed? The mainframe is a dying technology, as are the programming languages that Appropriation Accounting is built with. Because these are older and less supported technologies, they have become very costly and inefficient to manage. Most programmers who know the language or have experience using it are now retired, so it is difficult to find employees or consultants to even maintain the system, let alone enhance it to meet ODOT's growing needs. Appropriation Accounting is one of ODOT's two systems remaining on the mainframe. The other is the current bill system, which is also being actively replaced. So why migrate the system as it currently is? There are a few key reasons this approach was taken. Primarily because this option promises a high likelihood of success. It also offers a relatively fast turnaround, and it minimizes the amount of organizational change and training needed to begin. This approach also offers ODOT time to assess the system fully and to determine the best long-term path to take. This approach will also allow us to begin implementing system fixes and enhancements that were halted a few years ago. Once we have a plan and vision for the system and drafted requirements, we will then be able to begin major system updates, completely redevelop the system, or begin searching for a new off-the-shelf system if it makes more sense at the time. No matter what direction ODOT decides to pursue, you can expect big improvements in the next few years aimed at making your work life easier. To help highlight the importance of the success of this project, here are some important figures to show how much work is done in and through appropriation accounting. Every dollar that is budgeted, received, encumbered, or paid out by ODOT is processed through and verified by one or multiple appropriation accounting subsystems. This means before any work is done on the highway or in support of ODOT's aviation, water, or railways, appropriation accounting was used to make it happen. The system was used to manage an approximate $3.3 billion annual budget and, as expected, a similar figure for annual expenditures and revenues. As you can see, it is critical that this project and system succeed so that it can continue to support the amazing work being done across ODOT by many different teams. For more interesting appropriation accounting facts or the work it supports, just reach out to your district accounting or central office finance office. Let's take a few moments to discuss some facts about the current bill system, the project status, and its importance to ODOT. The current bill system is used by the Federal and Capital Accounting team in central office. It is extraordinarily complex. This system is used to bill the federal government through FHWA, or the Federal Highways Administration, to receive funding for major infrastructure, capital projects, or even disaster relief and recovery. This means that any funding that the federal government makes available to the state of Ohio that relates to ODOT must be converted into projects, all stipulations, requirements, and deadlines tracked, and all payments and revenues tracked against the authorized amounts and projects. This is a highly complex process, and the finance team is very excited to see the system upgraded into a new platform. The project was started a number of years ago and is now expected to be live in December of 2021. I want to take a moment to say a huge thank you for all the tireless hours over the past few years put in by the IT and finance team members. The system brought in $1.5 billion in federal revenue last year. Approximately the same amount was obligated last year. To highlight the importance of the system and project once more, this amount makes up for almost half of ODOT's annual revenue stream. How will users access the new web appropriation accounting system? Users will have two options for accessing appropriation accounting. The recommended option will be through Citrix. Citrix is the recommended option because you will be able to access as many appropriation accounting sessions or windows as you need. Citrix will offer two different apps, one with the appropriation accounting system zoomed in to fit your full screen, and the second with the zoom set to fill half of the screen for split screen work. Users will not be able to adjust the zoom when using these apps through Citrix. The other option is to use a normal internet browser. Through a browser, users will be able to adjust the zoom to meet their preference. However, you will only be able to open one window to appropriation accounting through each selected web browser. This means one can be accessed through Edge and another through Chrome or Firefox. If a user attempts to open multiple tabs within the same browser, each tab will always update to match the most recent AA screen that was used, meaning if you are working in APS, as well as a system inquiries system in another tab, when you change browser tabs, that second tab will be updated to match the first, and any pending work will be lost. This is why the Citrix option, or a mix of the two, is preferred. The new appropriation accounting website will be aa.dot.state.oh.us. While the goal of the migration project is to mimic the functionality of the mainframe appropriation accounting system as closely as possible, there are some notable differences. Identified differences include single sign-on. The project team is currently working on single sign-on functionality and hopes to have it ready to go for Go Live. If it is not ready at Go Live, users will log in using their Windows login information. Auditing and Browns. For many years, users have either enjoyed typing in auditing and Browns to access the system, or they may be Bengals or Steelers fans. No matter where you fall in your opinion of sports, with the new system, users will no longer enter auditing and Browns to access appropriation accounting. Printing purchase orders and modifications. Users who printed purchase orders and modifications will now use ODOT's standard reporting functionality to view and print them. The purchase orders and modifications will look exactly the same, but by moving this functionality outside of the system, it will enhance user experience by allowing them to view, print, or make copies as needed. There will no longer be a restriction on accessing these documents. Ability to update keyboard options. Within the mainframe system, there was a functionality that allowed specific users to remap their keyboard. The web system will not support individual keyboard mapping, so all users will have the standard keyboard functions. If issues are encountered, please request an enhancement. Enhancements will be documented, and a final decision will be made by the Central Office Finance Division. Next, the system is not as fast as the mainframe. One of the benefits of an older mainframe system was its speed because there is a direct link between the data entered by users and the database. Modern systems are not built the same way. Because of this, users will notice that there is a short pause before changing screens when using the migrated system. The project team is aware of this lag and is working on an enhancement to improve the speed of the screen by adjusting how these screens are coded. To avoid issues, especially when paging through multiple pages of data on inquiry screens, please do not hit the function keys too quickly. Sort orders. Because the new appropriation accounting system references an SQL database instead of the mainframe super database, some of the results that are returned are displayed in a different order. For example, you will now see results starting with numbers returned before alphabetical characters. So you will see 01 before you see A1 as an example. All of the same data can be found, but may be displayed on a different page. Scrolling as opposed to using F7 or F8 or F10 and F11 on some screens. A major change that users in some screens will immediately notice is the design of some screens to use a scroll bar instead of paging down using function keys like F8 or F10. Users will be able to see more information on their screens due to the ability to scroll up and down through the lines. There will still be occasions where a user will need to use the F8 or F10 options, such as to page through requisition lines. Another important change is that users will be logged out of the system after 1 hour of inactivity in a session, so please be mindful when you have unsaved work. And finally, the appropriation accounting screen colors of the web system are different than the old appropriation accounting screen colors. These may be changed in the future, but for now are set with a white background. Let's walk through accessing appropriation accounting. Option 1 is to navigate to Citrix. When Citrix is open, there are 2 appropriation accounting web apps that should be available within the browser section. If these apps do not appear, please submit an email to the AA support email inbox or to the DOT help desk and ask that the apps be added to your Citrix. The first app is the appropriation accounting app that is set to fit split screen. The second app is set to full screen. Once the app is open, if single sign-on is working properly, users will be navigated directly to the appropriation accounting main menu. If single sign-on is not set up yet, users will log in using their normal Active Directory login and password. The second option is to navigate to your internet browser and enter aa.dot.state.oh.us. The user will be navigated either to the login or to the appropriation accounting main menu. Let's walk through to demonstrate the difference in system speed and data sort order. Once in appropriation accounting, we will navigate to the system inquiry screen and then to the appropriation ledger. This will allow us to see all budget SACs in their normal system sort order. Once the criteria has been entered, the data is displayed. You will notice that in the web version of appropriation accounting, the first displayed SAC is 4111. This is because numbers are sorted to the top. If you scrolled through all pages, sacks starting with letters would eventually be found. If we look at the current AA system and perform the same steps, we will notice that the first sack displayed is LBM7. 4111 can be found, but it will be later in the list. Next, we will attempt to demonstrate the slightly slower system speed. We will find a record-intensive screen. We will navigate to the system inquiries and the transactions by vendor. Users will notice that they are not able to cycle through pages quite as quickly. If you go too fast, it will cause a system error. Don't worry though, you will be returned to the screen prior to the error and then can continue from that point. Next, we will demonstrate screen scrolling. To demonstrate how some screens now allow for a scroll bar and will no longer use the function keys to page up and page down, let's navigate to the voucher entry system. Then we will select the Scan Modify Vouchers option. Once the page loads, notice that the voucher lines are all displayed on the first page. Scrolling down will allow the user to see all of these lines. F7 and F8 will no longer be useful on pages where it is set up to use the scroll bar. Once we are working on system enhancements, Finance will work on screen optimizations, including whether to use more scroll bars to eliminate the function key use. As a note, there are still some screens, such as requisition entry and APS, where users still have to use the function keys. This is because all distribution lines are now displayed and can be seen by scrolling down, but F8 will still be needed to navigate to requisition line 2, 3, and so forth. Where can users turn when they experience an issue? If a user has a question or a concern relating to normal fiscal duties and needs help with something like a question about their budget or a requisition, then they should reach out to their fiscal officer, central office fiscal customer representative, or the appropriate central office finance subject matter expert. However, if a user experiences any issues relating to the appropriation accounting system functionality, please reach out to the appropriation accounting support email, aasupport@dot.ohio.gov. The project team will also share major system information via email to registered users. Users are also encouraged to submit enhancement requests by emailing them to the system support inbox. These will be logged and prioritized by the central office finance team. This is an exciting time for ODOT's appropriation accounting users. We sincerely thank you for your hard work, support, and ideas, and we look forward to improving the appropriation accounting experience. We know that ODOT would not work without you, and we will continue in our dedication to help users in their path to success. Thank you.